And the lesson that I've taken is this can be done safely if we work together.
Today, Governor Jay Inslee visited Stevens Elementary School here in Spokane to see how efforts are going to return students back to the classroom.
Just last week, a delay in vaccine shipments forced the mass vaccination site at the Spokane Arena to shut down. Now they have more than 8,000 doses to administer this week alone.
Trekking, snow showers, and isolated thunderstorms this evening. More snow is on the way later this week. I'll have your complete forecast next.
Why is it better than online?
Because I get to see all their beautiful faces every day.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Governor Jay Inslee dropped by Stevens Elementary School today, where he met with students and staff to get a better idea of how the return to in-person learning is going in Spokane Public Schools. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. Our Amanda Rowley was one of only a few reporters approved to follow the governor on this tour today. She's joining us now live from Stevens Elementary with a look at how that visit went. Hi, Amanda.
Good evening. Teachers and students alike were all very excited for Governor Jay Inslee's visit to Stevens Elementary School today. Now, he said this afternoon his takeaway from the tour is that hybrid learning and returning to school safely can be done if we work together.
He's in charge of the entire state of Washington, which is even bigger than Spokane. Isn't that crazy?
It's a big day for Stevens Elementary School. Governor Jay Inslee visited a few classes to see how returning to in-person learning is going for students and teachers.
You guys have come back into classroom. Do you like being in the classroom here? How do you feel about that? You love it?
The governor asked his fair share of questions to these students and teachers.
Did you have any concerns about coming back originally, or did you feel totally confident?
I felt really confident because I felt like our admin team made our protocols very clear for us. So before the kids ever came into the building, I felt like I had a really clear understanding of what was expected of me and the kids.
Why is it better than online?
Because I get to see all their beautiful faces every day.
That's pretty cool, huh? It sounds like it's going relatively well.
After the tour and a roundtable discussion with school district and Spokane city leaders, we had a chance to ask Governor Inslee about moving teachers up in line for the COVID-19 vaccine.
We know to a moral certainty, beyond a reasonable doubt, that schools can operate with teamwork in the schools without vaccinating all the personnel. I would never ask an educator to go into an unsafe condition. Never. They're too close to my heart. And what I'm saying today is I'm seeing educators leading all over the state of Washington, showing how to do this safely.
Do you anticipate relaxing the social distancing guidelines from that 6 feet? I know we have high schoolers coming back to class on March 1st.
So not in the short term, but this is an iterative process. We learn as we go, the science develops. I am hopeful that we will continue to drive that curve down dramatically.
Now, I also asked the governor about the new COVID variant detected in King County today. He says the good news is that Washington state is one of the leading states in surveillance of the new variant, which will help the state to monitor this closely. Reporting from Stevens Elementary, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. Governor Inslee's last visit to Spokane was back in June. He met with leaders in government, health, and business. He also expressed concerns at that time about rising coronavirus cases and hospitalizations in Spokane County.
This is a community that can really pull together. And when it pulls together, really great things can happen.
One day after this last visit, he issued a statewide mask mandate.
And then in September, the governor also made another visit to eastern Washington, this time to visit the towns of Bridgeport and Malden after wildfire ripped through that region. He also stopped by Pullman to visit with WSU and city leaders on the local COVID response.
A COVID-19 variant first discovered in South Africa has been detected now in Keene County over on the west side. The patient first tested positive back on January 29th, and then yesterday on February 22nd, the variant was detected. It was identified through genomic sequencing at the UW Medicine Biology Laboratory. The person's travel history was not available because the person, quote, was not able to be reached through contact tracing efforts. The South African variant was first identified back in December. It's been found now in 10 states in the U.S. At this time, it is not known if the variant is more dangerous or more contagious. It can reduce the effectiveness of vaccines, but according to the Department of Health, vaccines still provide strong protection against severe illness and death.
Now, I did reach out to the Spokane Regional Health District today about those variants. So far, I'm told, though, there are no confirmed cases of them here yet in Spokane County. In the meantime, the Spokane Arena mass vaccination site is back up and running today with 8,000 vaccine doses now to distribute just this week. KREM 2's Brandon Jones is live outside now at the arena with an update. Brandon.
It has been a busy day here at the Spokane Arena, and of course things were unclear over the last week or so because of a delay in shipments with vaccinations, but today normal business has resumed, which means thousands of people are eager to receive their vaccines. As doors to the arena reopened for vaccine distribution, many of the people arriving for their appointment were in for a bit of a surprise.
The line's no problem. They're doing the best they can, and it just shows you how many people need the shot and want it.
A line with hundreds of people was wrapped around the building. Some were on crutches, some were in wheelchairs, all who were trying to pack as much patience as they possibly could. You can see them walking up behind me, but I don't think anyone expected it to be this long when they decided to come out here and try to get their first or their second dose of the vaccine. Appointments that were originally scheduled to take place last week were rescheduled starting this morning and will continue through this Saturday, February 27th. Winter storms across the country kept shipments from entering Washington last week. All 4 mass vaccination clinics were impacted. The Spokane Arena had to stop their operations for multiple days.
My appointment was for 10:50, and I got an email saying to come at 12 or a little after. And so I got here at 11:30 just to be safe. And this is the line. It's so long.
Patients that were impacted are supposed to be contacted directly by the Department of Health. The DOH is promising that anyone who had an appointment will not lose their opportunity to get the vaccine.
But I've been trying for 3 weeks, but I finally got an appointment. But I was supposed to get it Friday, and now I'm here, hopefully today.
I did reach out to officials at the arena to get an estimate on how many people they were able to get vaccinated today. Those numbers are still being counted up, but out of the 8,000 doses, 4,000 will be used to cover appointments scheduled last week. The other half is this week's allotment. This week, they're asking for patience as they squeeze in last week's vaccines as well. And there were thousands of people who showed up to the arena today. Nearly 260 people were treated with their vaccines for every single hour they were open. They actually pushed back the closing time to 6 p.m., which is a bit later than their normal operations. It's unclear when, new vaccines will be able to, or new appointments rather, will be able to be accepted, but they're currently working on a date where they can allow more people to sign up to receive their first doses. From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you very much. And if you did have an appointment scheduled for yesterday, for example, you should be getting a call from the State Department of Health. They will help reschedule you for sometime later this week. By the way, the caller will ask you to confirm your identity with your date of birth. They will not ask for any other information, so just be aware. You can also call the Department of Health hotline at 1-800-525-0127. Then you just press pound to talk to a representative.
Idaho will now join Washington in requiring people to show proof that they work or live in the state to get a COVID-19 vaccine there. Public health officials discussed this move and gave an update on the state's vaccine rollout in a press conference earlier today. Ian Smay of the KREM 2 vaccine team is live in the newsroom tonight with more on that. Ian?
That's right, Mark. This new requirement comes weeks after Washington announced the same rule for its mass vaccination sites. Health officials say this move has more to do with vaccine supply than out-of-staters going to Idaho for the vaccine. Idaho has announced it will now require people to show proof they work or live in the state to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. The forms of proof listed by the state include a driver's license or work or school ID, a letter with the person's name and address, a utility bill with the person's name, or a voucher from a registered organization or agency saying the person lives or works in Idaho. But public health officials say this isn't meant as a barrier.
They're meant to be pretty broad. They really say just some reasonable reason to believe that this person lives or works in Idaho. So again, we're not trying to create a barrier for those that live and work in Idaho, but we are trying to set an expectation that if you don't live in Idaho, you should get vaccinated in your home state.
Officials explain this move has to do with demand for the vaccine outpacing supply. People from out of state coming to Idaho for the vaccine wasn't a widespread issue for the state or any area in particular. In fact, statewide, a relatively low number of people who don't live or work in Idaho have received the vaccine.
We do estimate that there's about 38,000 to 41,000 people who work in Idaho but don't live in Idaho. They could still get vaccinated here. And to date, as near as we can tell, about 4,800 people have been vaccinated who didn't live or work in Idaho that have been vaccinated in Idaho.
Officials have also addressed the vaccine delays caused by last week's severe weather across the country and here at home. Last week, Idaho is set to receive 30,000 vaccine doses in total, all of which were delayed. Of those, all Pfizer vaccines were expected to have arrived by Monday. As for the Moderna vaccine, officials say all of those should be here by tomorrow. These are in addition to this week's allotment for Idaho, which officials estimated at a little over 40,000 doses. Even with these delays, the vaccine push didn't come to a halt last week.
However, despite the delay in deliveries, around 53,800 total doses, first and second, were administered last week.
Another big announcement from today's meeting was a pre-registration system. Officials with the Department of Health and Welfare say it won't be ready until early March, but when that system is ready, it will allow people in Idaho to register their contact information and answer health questions. Then, when they are eligible and an appointment is available in their area, the system will ask them if they want to book that appointment. For more information about the coronavirus vaccine in eastern Washington or northern Idaho, text vaccine to 509-448-2000, and we will send you a link to your phone. Mark, Whitney.
All right, Ian, all good information there. Thank you. Let's talk weather now. We have an interesting next couple of days on the horizon in terms of weather. Definitely mountain snow and that continued avalanche danger as well. Let's bring in Tom Sherry with what else we can expect for this week, Tom.
Well, it's pretty active right now, especially down to the south of us. Kimberly sent us this video, and I wasn't able to transfer the sound along with it, but my gosh, it was really hailing big time down into the Palouse. And she also sent some pictures that showed that it was quarter-size hail that is happening down there as we're getting some areas of thunder snow. Yeah, we've detected actually some thunderstorms down into the Palouse as well towards the Tico area. So again, very, very active weather. I think we could get some snow showers here locally as well. Not much in the way of accumulation. I do think we're going to get more accumulation though by the time Thursday rolls around. We could get 1 to 2 inches of snow then. In the meantime, 38 degrees. We're going to look for more of this convective activity where we could get more thunder snow and hail and graupel till about 5:30 tonight. I think that once the sun sets, things should begin to quiet down. 38 degrees right now. Wind out of the southwest at 14 miles an hour. There's a look at that snow. And even at the very beginning of the loop, you can see just down south of Plummer, you can see just a little bit of like a lightning bolt that kind of happens right there. So again, we're seeing it happening. There's even a little bit of snow right along the Idaho and the Canadian border, Idaho and Washington border that is occurring at this hour. Look for some fog and low clouds to set up overnight. It's a cold one down to 23 if we burn off the fog and low clouds, and I think we will. We'll look for a high tomorrow of 39 under mostly sunny skies. Looks like it's dry for the weekend. 38 on Saturday, 40 on Sunday. Again, tracking snow on Thursday. More on that coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you so much. Well, for more than 20 years, Tim Eyman has made a name for himself in Washington politics by promoting anti-tax ballot measures.
But a recent court ruling found he has also made money for himself, money that he did not disclose. A judge fined Eyman millions for campaign finance violations. Our political reporter Casey Decker spoke with Eyman in depth about what the ruling means for his future. He also spoke with the state attorney general who prosecuted the case.
I think my original sin was being successful as a conservative activist and voters consistently voting for these initiatives.
And I've got a newsflash for Tim Eyman. He's not special. The rules do apply to him.
You can hear more from both of those interviews tonight right here on KREM 2 News. That's coming up at 6 o'clock.